back to my channel. So today saw Disney Plus drop the first episode of Marvel's new TV series What If. So let's have a little discussion about that very first episode. So if you're new to this channel, my name's AJ. Talking about all things film, collectibles, all this sort of thing, openings, rankings, yeah. So please consider subscribing. If you like what you see, hit the notification bell so you get updated on future content, and leave me a comment if you so wish. Also, a thumbs up goes a long way to help. Anyway, so yeah, so Marvel's What If. It's a Marvel's new TV series on Disney Plus. Today saw the release of the very first episode, which we'll talk about in a minute. So now, the what if is a concept that Marvel's had for years, from the 70s. They used to do a comic book called What If, which took scenarios in comics, as you can see to the left of me, I'll put a few of them up, and change the events of what happened and see what occurs from the change of that event. It was an anthology series. One issue was one story. More recently, Marvel have delved into What If again in the comics, to a lesser effect. It's the classic old ones that were the great ones. Yeah, so, you know, they announced a while ago that they were doing a TV series, and it started today. So let's see what episode 1 is all about. So yeah, so here in episode 1, we see the events of Captain America, the first Avenger, told differently. Jeffrey Wright plays Uatu, the Watcher. You did see one of the Watchers appear briefly in Guardians of the Galaxy, in the scene with Stan Lee. Now, what the Watcher is, he's a character that watches and observes time, and you know, and he sees multiple outcomes of stuff, this sort of a thing. So the series, or is the episodes, are bookended with Jeffrey Wright as Uatu, explaining what's occurring. So in this series, we don't see, or in this episode, we don't see Steve Rogers get the super soldier serum. Instead, we see Peggy Carter. Yeah, so it's basically what if Peggy Carter became Captain America, essentially. She wouldn't be Captain America, obviously. She'd be Captain Britain, but Captain Carter. So yeah, let's talk a bit about the story. So there may be spoilers in this. So the setup for the story is, it starts off exactly the same. You open up in the scene where Peggy Carter and Steve are in the SHIELD base, where Steve's about to receive the serum to turn him into Captain America. Only one decision, one alteration, a small alteration occurs that sees it go a different way. And in this, Peggy Carter's the one that actually receives the super soldier serum to great effect, and she becomes reborn as Captain Carter, essentially. The war effort sort of treats her the same way as what Steve was treated, in that they don't really want to send a woman into war and all this sort of stuff. You know, the higher ups are a bit about it. So she ends up going. She goes on a mission to rescue Bucky and his team. And Steve does join, because he actually gets a Hydra Stomper suit, which is essentially the first Iron Man suit that you see in Iron Man 1. Very similar to that. Steve climbs into it. It's a lot bigger than that, but Steve can climb into it much like the Hulkbuster sort of suit, and he can fly with it and do heroic stuff in his skinny form. Yeah, so you still have the Red Skull, you have the Tesseract. I'm not going to tell you a story. Watch it. Yeah, watch the episode. It does end with a continuation scene, much like Captain America did, the film. Yeah, so, you know, the animation within it, the animation was fine. It took a bit of getting used to initially. It's very similar to the recent, the character animation is very recent to the recent DC animated films. Probably heavily rotoscoped. The backgrounds look gorgeous, the colours look gorgeous. Yeah, it's very well made. It runs at 34 minutes, that's including the end credits, and you know that on these Marvel series on Disney, the end credits tend to run for a considerable amount of time. So you're looking at maybe about 28 minutes. I didn't have a look. The voice acting is great. Obviously, Hayley Atwell returns as Peggy Carter. You've got Howard Stark. I forget his name now. He returns as Hal Stark. He who was in, played the younger Howard Stark, who was in Preacher, and he was in the Agent Carter TV series. Dominic something. I can't remember his name. Christ almighty, I'm awful. Anyway, so. Yeah, the voice cast was fine. Even though Chris Evans didn't return to voice Bucky, Captain America, Steve Rogers, his voice was fantastic. He, any normal people wouldn't tell. Red Skull sounded great. Yeah, so all in all, very good. What did I think of it? As a first episode, it was fine. It didn't deviate too much from the goings on of the film, really. It was very action packed, not too much to think about. It didn't leave you with like pondering, oh, what happens next, how does things go. It's very sort of basic storytelling in this episode. I'm hoping that changes. But as someone who used to read the comics of What If, it was really good. It was enjoyable, a lot of fun. I'm hoping it leads to something bigger. It could lead to a continuation of the Peggy Carter, Captain Carter storyline. Yeah, I mean, this series falling after Loki makes a lot of sense after what happened at the end of Loki. It's perfect. It's perfect. Let's just say it's a perfect aside from that and the end with the branching realities, and now you get to see some of these branched realities. So don't dismiss the programme. I know it's animated, but it is very good. Big thumbs up for me. Very much enjoyed it. A must-see. Yes, I'm looking forward to the very next episode, and I will do a review next week of the next episode as well, and so forth. So I will review every episode as it comes. So for this series, great start. I'm hoping it develops. I'm hoping the stories do come a bit more involved, a bit more thoughtful, so to speak. But as a start, it was fantastic. It should draw you in. Yeah, it was good stuff. But the only down thing is if they mention dancing one more time, I'd have thrown my control at the screen. Yes, but there you go. So this is AJ. If you like my review, like I said, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. Channel's young, want to grow it upwards. Leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Tell me your thoughts on the episode. Did you like it? Didn't you like it? Why? Have you read the old What If comics? Hit the notification bell. Keep up to date with my content. Yes. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching. Come back next time and I shall see you soon. Take care all. Goodbye.